What's good? It's your boy Jay. That's me. Let's get into Monday Night Raw from November the 18th, 2024. And okay, show. It was taped, so spoilers have been out for a week. And I'm not going to really do a long review for you guys. I'm just not. So I'll just talk about the main points and I'll briefly go over the matches real quick. So, yeah. So we kicked the show off with the Women's Wargames. There's going to be a Women's Wargames, yes, which is dumb. I don't understand that. It's weird. So it's going to be Liv Morgan, Raquel Rodriguez, Candice LeRae, Nia Jax, and Tiffany Stratton versus Rhea Ripley, Bianca Belair, Jade Cargill, Naomi, and Io Sky. Basically, they had a massive brawl, basically. So, there's that. This is okay, but we don't need another War Games on the Survivor Series card. We just don't need it. It doesn't make any sense. Yes, I get that all these women are intertwined and everything else, but we just do not need a War Games match. This would have been perfectly fine as a traditional 5-on-5 Survivor Series elimination match. And that's really what should happen, if we're being honest. We just don't need to have another War Games just to have a War Games match. It doesn't make any sense. Like, I don't care about War Games like that. I just don't. It's a boring concept because it just is. It's not a really cool concept because basically it's usually a faction taking on an alliance of super baby faces. That's what War Games has always been, basically. And so, just doing this for the sake of doing this because all women have beef with each other is fucking stupid. I don't understand it, in my opinion. I just don't. But it is what it is. So this Liv Morgan and Rhea Ripley feud, it needs to end. I would end it either at the January 6th Raw on Netflix, or you can end it at the Royal Rumble. Either way, this thing has to end. It has to end. You can't do anything else. I don't know, man. I just don't know. It's like, I would much rather have this be a 5-on-5 elimination match, and you can tell more stories and everything else than just doing a traditional War Games match. And that's the problem with Triple H. He's trying to make everything like black and gold. It's like the War Games match only works as if you have a dominant heel faction just running roughshod for a long period of time until they meet their end via baby faces, ultra baby faces that, overthrow them. I don't know. I just don't know. I am over the Rhea Ripley, Liv Morgan feud. I'm just over it. This thing cannot go past the Royal Rumble. It can't. There's no more legs to this. You've done everything that you can possibly do. And I don't think you need to do anything else. If we're being honest, you just don't. But it is what it is. But it's going to be, another War Games match because, well, the women have to have theirs too. And I agree to an extent, but not all the time. I feel like something like War Games is, this must there must be a feud that causes a War Games match to take place. What's going on here is just a bunch of feuds rolled up into one, and I'm not all that interested in it. I'm just not. So there's that. Moving on. So first match of the night was a mixed a mixed tag team match. Selena Vega and Rey Mysterio. They defeated American Made, Chad Gable, and Ivy Nile. That was that. So it is what it is. Who cares? Post match, the Creed brothers, they had some inner turmoil between the two of them and everything else. So both guys started showing each other the Creeds, and then Chad Gable says he likes what he sees from the Creeds, and he wants to see more of that from them. All right, that's fine. Moving on, we get more Judgment Day drama. Who gives a damn? They need to break up the Judgment Day as well. That is getting old too. That's getting tiresome. I am over that. That's been 2.5 years in the making. It's time to end the storyline, please. Let's end it, Triple H. This has been going on for 2+ years. Can we end the Judgment Day stuff, please? Moving right along. Next, we had a vignette from The Miz. And this was great. I love this. So Miz says it's been a tough few weeks since being abducted by the Wyatt Six. Last week on Raw, The Miz double-crossed the Wyatt Six and helped the Final Testament. Karrion Kross says the Wyatts are a bunch of wounded people using others to feel better about themselves. Miz says this is what Marine 7 needed to get started, and maybe Martin Scorsese or Quentin Tarantino will direct. That was great. I love when he said that. That was great. Karrion Kross says he's in control. TikTok. So this is great. This is really, really good stuff here. I'm loving the Final Testament versus the Wyatt Six. That is cool because I've always been a fan of Karrion Kross ever since he was in TNA and MLW. I even enjoyed his NXT run. That was great. When he was bald and everything else, that was kick-ass stuff right there. I loved when Karrion Kross was bald. Pause. But this is great, and it's all great because of The Miz. The Miz is awesome. The Miz is tremendous. He's good at what he does from a character perspective. So I'm interested in seeing where this goes. Hopefully this leads us to a match at Survivor Series at least. You could do a 4-on-4, a traditional Survivor Series match as well with this one, but it is what it is. But hopefully this does make the Survivor Series card, but we'll have to wait and see. Probably not. But I don't think this could be carried going into Saturday Night Main Event. I just don't see it. Moving on. So, Gunther has some advice for Ludwig Kaiser. So Gunther says Kaiser doesn't speak for him. Kaiser needs to stand on his own. Gunther tells him to go find himself. So Gunther speaks in German to him. I don't know what he said. It may have been something about his father or whatever. Kaiser's father, that is. I have no idea. There was no Google Translate involved or subtitles involved, so we don't know. So does Kaiser still see the old ring general? Kaiser says nothing's changed. Gunther says Damian Priest is not under his skin. So, basically, this leads into a backstage brawl between Gunther and Gunther and Damian Priest, with Damian Priest getting the upper hand. So it is what it is. Who cares? I'm not interested in Gunther and Damian Priest. This feels like a Raw match, if we're being honest. This is something that you would either open Monday Night Raw with or main event with. Either or. Take your pick. Moving on. So this leads us into Sheamus and Braun Breaker. They had a really good match. It was interrupted by Ludwig Kaiser. Ludwig Kaiser beats the shit out of both guys. Pause. So I like this. Even though it was taped, this is fine. Braun Breaker's still badass. He's super good. He's got a bright future for sure. Definitely future world champion for sure. I could see him being both world heavyweight champion and a WWE undisputed champion as well. So I could see that in his future. So basically, Braun Breaker wins by DQ, basically. So I assume this is going to lead into a triple threat at Survivor Series, possibly. I don't know, but it looks like that's where this is going. Moving right along. So, the Usos and Sami Zayn, they're trying to recruit Seth Rollins. So, Jey Uso says this time they put their differences aside for just this one time. Sami Zayn says they did this before when Seth Rollins put his differences aside to team up with Cody Rhodes. Sami Zayn asked him to do it again and stand with them at Wargames. Seth Rollins says he stood side by side with them, but he'll never stand side by side with that tyrant Roman Reigns. It hurts Rollins to say that. He'd love to tear Bronson Reed apart in a steel cage, but he doesn't want to put Roman Reigns back in power. Seth Rollins will solve their problems by dropping Bronson Reed, and he'll never make it to War Games. Whatever happens from there is on them, and that was it. So that's cool there. I do like this. So it is what it is. Dakota Kai, she mentioned some stuff, not really that important. She's, been on the sidelines or whatever. She needs to go to TNA, if we're being honest. The War Raiders, they defeat the Judgment Day, and then the Judgment Day beat the shit out of the War Raiders. Who really cares about any of this shit? Next, we get a Bo Dallas vignette, which is great. This was great. He looks so much like Bray. So much like Bray. And this is how Bo Dallas should be presented going forward. No mask, no crazy boots, no fake hair. This is how he should be presented. Love it. So, Bo Dallas says he tried to offer the Miz salvation. Bo Dallas tried to warn him, but he damned himself. Bo Dallas says, I'm sorry for what happens next. Miz chose this. His hands will be stained with scarlet red. He will lose. What matters most is Bo Dallas never wanted this. So I do like that. So that means I'm pretty sure Maurice and the kids are going to get involved in this. And that should be fun. So I am digging the Final Testament Wyatt 6 feud. That should be fun. Moving on. So the main event. No. Before we get on to the main event. No, that was it. That was it basically. So Seth Rollins was the my bad. Bronson Reed defeated Seth Rollins with the help of Solo Sikoa. Bronson Reed wins via the Tsunami, but before all that, he did the Death Valley Driver, 2 Sentons, and the Tsunami for the 1, 2, 3. That's a little bit too much. He should have done just the Death Valley Driver and the Tsunami, but it is what it is. And then that was it. So, am I excited for Seth Rollins joining the Bloodline to go to war against Solo's Bloodline along with Bronson Reed? No, I'm not. Because the men's War Games should just be a simple 4-on-4. And why? Because it's those 8 guys have been feuding with each other for months now. And, the Renegade Bloodline, they've been there, for a while. They've been running roughshod for the past 6 to 8 months. So I don't know. If I was booking everything, I would not have Seth Rollins and Bronson Reed. I would actually end up doing their rubber match, and we could do like a stipulation. You could put it in the middle of the card, basically. I don't care what you do. It could be a steel cage. It could be a last man standing match, an I Quit match, Falls Count Anywhere. However you want to do it. But they would need a third and final match to end their feud. And that's just what I would do with those guys. There's just no need for Seth Rollins and Bronson Reed to be added into the Civil War, the Bloodline Civil War. So it is what it is. Lara Valkyria had a vignette, and that was it. So more New Day drama. Who cares? But Raw was okay. I'm just not excited for the women's War Games. That should not exist at all. That should be a traditional 5-on-5, for being honest. I am interested in the Wyatt 6 versus the Final Testament. I'm interested in that to see where that goes. I don't care about the Damian Priest Gunther stuff. It's a waste of time. I don't care about it. The triple threat, that probably will happen at Survivor Series between between Sheamus, Sheamus, Braun Breaker, and Ludwig Kaiser. That should be fun because all three guys are solid. Pause. So there's that. Still no sign of Drew McIntyre. Still no sign of CM Punk. Maybe those guys will be. Maybe they'll show up at Survivor Series. I have no idea, but they got to show up eventually. They've been gone for well over a month now. So it is what it is. But I'm just not excited for the women's War Games. And the Bloodline Civil War should just be a 4-on-4 War Games. That's just what I would do, but it is what it is. What did you guys think? Like, comment, subscribe. Peace.